we're going to be talking about how to grow your small business through Reels. And this is all thanks to Dell Technologies, who allows me to be here with my stethoscope for my pharmacy. It is Dr. Tucker here. I'm not going to say in the house. It sounds like I'm about to start rapping or something. But today we are going to be talking about how to grow your business through your Reels. And we're going to be joined by two very special guests in a few minutes' time. Andie, founder of Dahlia Beach, and Kirsty, founder of Rebuildagram. And it's going to be such an exciting session. I'm going to take my stethoscope off because actually it strangles me. So hang on a second. There we go. But this is all thanks to Dell, and we're going to be helping you get over your fears about Reels. Now, I have definitely been there. So what you're going to be finding out today is exactly what are Reels and why they are so important to growing your social media following on Instagram right now. We're going to actually hear from Andie, who I've met and is the most delightful woman, and she is going to be telling us how it's actually helped her business fly. So founder to founder, really why you should be doing Reels. Why you all need to pluck up your courage and get in front of the screen. It's going to also be talking about what equipment you might need, and it's not complicated, by the way, so that's good to know. And also Andie and Kirsty's top tips for Reels. And I've also met Kirsty at an event. I bumped into her. And somehow, rather unfortunately, I don't know what I was saying, but I started talking about age, and she'd never met me. So I absolutely sounded like a mad woman, but she is the nicest woman, and she also is a complete expert. So we've got two brilliant people here. But first of all, I just wanted to check in with you all. Let me know, how are you feeling this week? We started the week, didn't we? Really trying to get ourselves to a place where understanding, a little bit like when we started SME SOS, you know, that we need to be strong at this point in time, that you absolutely have to build your businesses right now. It is not crass or insensitive for you to be running your business. And actually the way of looking at it is if you had a 9-to-5, or you were working with a silenced voice because you were in a large organization in a 9-to-5, you would not be able to help Ukraine vote with your money, raise awareness. And actually, by running your own business, and by the way, your business needs to be healthy and successful in order for you to have a voice, you are able to do more good. Do you see what I mean? So that was a bit of a roundabout way of just saying, your businesses have to succeed in order for you to be able to have a voice, and then that founder's voice can do good. So please do not feel bad about running your businesses, promoting your businesses. Obviously, you need to have your finger on the pulse of your community. You need to feel the temperature of society, but you must build your businesses. And I was really touched by all your comments, because I think that we just need to feel like we're in this together, don't we? When crises happen, which was Brexit to the pandemic to now this war, it has just felt, well, we're all incredibly fatigued. I don't know, it's just unbelievable. But if we're together, we can do this. Sign up to my mailing list, by the way, if you haven't already, because we're going to be launching some interesting ways to help your business. Because guess what? In March, as ever, it is Female Founders Month. Always brought on by International Women's Day, Mother's Day and things. So every single March since time began at Holly&Co, we call it Female Founders Month. And so please sign up to our newsletter. We've got some frigging exciting stuff coming up, and anyone that signed up to Holly's desk notes, which was on a Friday, I write exclusively for that, you'll be the first to know what we're doing and what you can sign up for and what you can get. So I would love to know, just to read out before we start this session, how are you all feeling about Reels? Okay, I want to sort of get the temperature before we start, because if you're anything like me, I absolutely did not want to be even thinking about reels. And it made me think about, do you remember before stories happened, how we all felt about stories, you know, nicely plodding along. Oh, I put an image on the grid. Brilliant. I can get my head around that. Then this whole story thing came along and like, are you joking me? You want me to now be continuously giving you stories as well? How have we come around to that idea? We all now are absolutely happy, aren't we? Grid, then stories, and now another bloody thing, reels. And so reels has come along and we're all now a bit frightened of it, potentially. I'm going to read out some comments, but guess what? Today's session is going to help us just feel like it is a natural thing that we do. Anna Martin Media, excited for this. Reels are inescapable now, correct. Tickety Boo Shop just saw the time and said out loud, Holly, Holly, Holly. I love that. Holly Cottage Studio. Hello, Holly. Looking forward to this one. I'm so glad. Spotty and Stripey, can't wait for this. Marine and Gold Creations. So excited for this session. Thank you for arranging it, Holly. Greenfinch Shop, Ticehurst. Hoping I don't get too many customers in so I can listen. Oh, I just put us on mute while they come in. Hopefully they will come in, but do pay. Yeah. Keep your notepad ready. Caroline Marnie, so need this, thank you. Hello, Hebden Bridge. Hello, Hebden Bridge. Thanks for this session, Holly. I have met so many new businesses and today I am delighted to have found Andie. Dahlia's will be bought this afternoon. Actually, Andie, Frank told me he bought some dahlias from you and he's looking forward to those arriving. The soywaxcandlecompany.co.uk. Hi, Holly. I'm feeling positive about the future and reels are going to be so important in my new shop. Looking forward to this session. Olive Attic, I do them, but they are not great. Land Girls, I have no idea about reels. Right, well, that sounds like the absolute perfect time for us to go and speak to our two experts here today. And remember, this is a video era. This is not something that you can dip in, dip out of. We need to accept the fact that the future is video inspired. If you think about some of the things, 75% of customers purchase a product after watching a video. 75% of customers purchase a product after watching a video about it. It's why QVC is still doing well. So you must remember that moving images are also 5 times longer than a static image. That's how we consume them. We consume a video on average for 5 times longer. So our rate of watching something longer than a static image. So we absolutely cannot ignore this, right? And even if we feel uncomfortable, and by the way, I'm never going to dance. I'm never doing dancing on my reels. So if you're joining me on that, this is not about dancing. This is about how do you use your videos to capture the imagination of your customers. And it's going to be something that we need to delve into. So I'm going to join some wonderful people here. So let me... I'm doing my first room. So I need to just remind myself how to do a room. Oh, here we go. Hang on. I think that's actually turning off the video, Holly. A room. Can someone remind me where a room is? Oh, hang on a minute. I've got some... See, we all learn. And unfortunately, I learn right in front of everybody. The room, it's meant to just be here. Hang on a second. I'm just going to do something. Right, I'm just going to accept. And then I'm going to know, because she'll know where the room is. Here is, hi, Andie.
Hi, Holly.
How are you?
Found the button.
I know this button. I want to now join Kirsty. Do you know where rooms is?
Oh, Kirsty said press the plus button first.
The plus button. Yeah.
Can you see the plus button?
I'm just going to accept her as well. Maybe it just automatically does it. Let's just see, shall we? Hopefully it might.
Yes.
There we go. I mean, talk about the two people not to do that with. There you go. Brilliant. How are you both? Hi, Andie. Hi, Kirsty.
Hi. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you both. We're really looking forward to this session. So far, I'm getting this sort of vibe that people they know they need to do this, but they're scared. So before we jump in, do you want to just do a minute or so on each of you and who you are? Andie, do you want to start with you?
Yes. Thank you, Holly. And everything that you said this morning has just been like resonating, like fireworks going off in my brain. I'm like, yes, that is exactly it. I love video, and I've spent my dad was one of those guys that carried around a Betamax camera on his shoulder and recorded every single holiday we ever went on, school play, everything. My whole life was filmed. I was like one of those really annoying parents. My dad was right at the front. So, and I then went to uni and studied video. I then got a job working as a TV producer doing video. And then in my 30s, I started my own business because I started a family, and I ran a wedding video company that did 300 weddings a year, just doing the editing. So video has been a huge part of my life. And I feel like finally the whole world has caught up. I'm like, yes. So my wedding video business went into liquidation in 2020, which was really sad. But listening to your podcast, Holly, inspired me to just get back on the horse, get back out there. Failure is just a learning process. That one didn't work. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't anything I did, but it's not going to hold me back. And I started a new business selling dahlias. Glad Frank's got some on the way. I've said you're going to be treated to lots of flowers this year, Holly. Thanks to Frank's Dahlia Beach. And I grew this business totally from scratch with zero marketing budget. I've been going for 18 months now, and I've done it entirely on Instagram.
Amazing. And you know what, just quickly before we go to Kirsty, we need to remember, I know I'm not sounding like a Pinterest quote, but I don't think you should say failure, because actually ultimately your business was closed by the pandemic. You know, after 12 years of your business, you didn't fail. You know, you were put under what must have been heartbreaking conditions, where so many of our industries, the wedding industry, particular hospitality, you know, saw many business fatalities. And anyway, I just wanted to say that because poor you, because say poor you, it would have been absolutely heartbreaking beyond. Yeah. Kirsty, and yourself?
Yes, so my name's Kirsty. Hello, everybody. Thank you. So many lovely comments and lots of reels here I can see coming through in the comments. So we're going to see if we can put your mind at rest on that. So my background is in PR. I worked in the city for 12 years and then had children, and I launched, retrained in social media. I'm obsessed with Instagram. I love it. And I help companies in the homes and garden space with Instagram. I'm completely obsessed with it. And I do coaching and workshops and all that kind of stuff. And in fact, I met Andie because I made a reel. So this whole partnership, and we now know each other, and I love her to bits, and we're working together. And I made a slightly bonkers reel. I think I had about 200 followers, and it's sort of set to music, and I twirled around and it goes red, yellow, green, and I changed outfit for everyone.
Excuse me, not just any outfit. Like Kirsty had, I mean, bearing in mind, like, it was a very quick reel, Holly. So it was like, you could be red, you could be yellow, you could be green, you could be purple, green, white, black, you could be any color you like. It's really quick. And there's this woman, not just like, oh, I've got a red t-shirt, now I've got a yellow t-shirt. Her wardrobe, she literally had something that was head to toe that color, and she was spinning. And I was like, I don't care who this woman is, but I love her. She's got too much time on her hands, but look at her wardrobe. I was like, I need to be in this woman's life. I literally love this woman. She's great.
I love this.
I can't tell you, Holly, that reel, because I was figuring out when Instagram just rolled reels out in August 2020, all of us were like, what's this? How do we do this? So I sort of figuring it out as I went. That reel, and no lie, probably took 12 hours, and the children kept going, when's lunch? I was like, go away, I'm making a reel. So yes.
Go away, Mummy's stuck to her phone for 12 hours straight. But don't you dare have any more screen time, right?
Yeah. Go and read a book while I do this, really important.
Yeah.
So yes, that's me. That's what I do.
And so we are the two people who we've got expertise right here. So I want to start, because today we're going to be sharing 5 tips. We're not going to overwhelm people. It's 5 tips to help use Instagram Reels and grow your business, because ultimately that's what we're doing here. You know, everyone here is trying to grow their business. Right now, the mood is hard. You know, sales are hard. We are fatigued. Our emotions are fatigued. We're in we're constantly perplexed whether we're allowed to be growing our business, not. Should we be scared? Shouldn't we? And so sometimes, you know, you've got that feeling of, you know, is this just a step too much, right? Putting myself out there, being this person, I'm scared about the camera, I'm an introvert. You know what, you want me to do all of this as well as run my business, you know, because that's a lot what's going on. And I like always these pharmacies to be very real, because, you know, of course we know reels are important, but then so's everything else. So Kirsty, tell me to start with, why are reels so important to Instagram right now?
Okay, so we have to sort of go back a bit, and what you mentioned at the beginning, Holly, is absolutely right. Video is here to stay, and as much as, you know, Instagram used to be a photo sharing app, things have moved on. That is because you're right. It's not forcing video on us because we don't like it. We all really like consuming it. So Instagram, if we go back to August 2020, there was a rise of an app called TikTok, and I don't know if anybody here has got TikTok, but Instagram looked over its shoulder very nervously at the speed with which TikTok was growing and got very nervous. And so it rolled out its version of TikTok. And Reels are basically tiny bits of video. We don't need to overcomplicate it. It's anything up to 60 seconds. It might go up to 90 seconds. Short form video, which has a bit of music, text, and a bit of creativity in it. And that is it. So I think the first thing to say to people, don't get too stressed about it. You don't need a camera crew. You don't need a whole production. You just need your phone and maybe a tripod help. So they are very easy to make at a basic level. So Instagram rolled them out in 2020. They are, because Instagram wants them to work, they have tweaked the algorithm to push Reels harder than any other type of content.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense? So if you're sweating over making pieces of content, what I'm saying to my clients is, if you want to grow and reach new people, then putting that content on Reels is going to get further than anything else. So, and that's for lots of different reasons. They want them to be a success, but also they're pushed to us everywhere. So you'll have Reels will appear in your followers' feeds, but also I'm sure you've seen suggested Reels now are getting pushed in your feed. There's a new horizontal feed that comes up. Plus they're on the explore page, and the really critical thing about Reels is how long they stick around for. Okay, so if you think about a post, probably that's up for about 24 hours. If it's a carousel, maybe 48 hours. A story the same. But Reels, we have seen them being shown to new people for up to 6 weeks.
Wow.
Which is a phenomenal amount of time, and there's nothing else on Instagram that you can create that keeps being pushed out to new people. So in terms of kind of getting to new people, they might take a bit more work, but there's so much value in them. And in terms of what they can do for accounts, there's I look after mainly homes and gardens accounts, but there's a lovely account called the Pheasant Garden that Andie and I know about, Tanya and Roger, who run it, and they have been embracing Reels, just to give you an example of the power of what they can do. And they've had a few Reels that have blown up quite well, and they went from 3,500 to 17,000 followers in 10 days.
My God.
Yeah, and in fact, I went back and checked it, Andie, this morning. They're now up at 29,000 followers. So literally a month ago, they were on 3,000.
Amazing.
So this is really showing us that actually, you know, we are all very, very busy. We all say, gosh, I've got to do my posts, I've got to do my stories, I've got to do this. What we're here saying is, right, if you want to be efficient and you listen to these tips today, actually Reels could be one of the fastest ways to grow your account above stories, above the gram, and above your grid. So Andie, tell me what it's done for your business, because you've grown it, haven't you? Like holly&co, we've grown it from Instagram, but you have embraced Reels like no one else I've ever seen.
Ah, thanks, Holly. Reels for me, the thing that I love about Reels and how it's helped me grow my business is that it's allowed real, authentic, genuine video, and that has made video, it's brought that to the forefront, and it's made video more accessible. Bearing in mind, I'm married to a broadcast cameraman. Like, he has a whole van full of really bloody expensive camera equipment and lights and the booms and this big thing. And I'm like, love, you can do it on your phone. And he's like, Andie, this is ridiculous. Now he's like, these reels are really good. I'm like, what are you watching? He's like, I'm just watching people running. Like, with music over the top. There's something about reels that has captured, and we're all guilty of it. And that's what you touched on, Holly, is like, we're resistant to it a little bit, but we like it. And that is, I've said this to you before, Holly, Instagram is a bit like a game. It's a computer game. You're playing to please the algorithm. It's nothing personal. So sometimes when people are posting things like, oh, it didn't do very well, it must mean that my followers don't like me. No, your followers naturally only, I think it's less than 1% of your followers see your content, that if you just share it on your grid and don't use hashtags and don't try and play the game.
Yeah.
So when Kirsty introduced me to Reels, I was like, wow, this is quite a powerful way of playing the game, the Instagram game, to get up the ladder. And I've grown, I'm nearly 31,000 followers in 18 months just because I've embraced Reels. And I've tried lots of different things. Some things work, some things don't. Time of day makes a big difference. But for me as a business, I've been able to share my journey almost on a daily basis by creating sometimes these real people are really nervous. It's gonna, you know, people, I saw people's comments going, I've got 12 hours to make a video about me changing clothes. That it's not the point. Sometimes the fact that you've gone to the effort, and Holly, you go to great pains to make these amazing images, it's literally, it's a change of culture and mindset. It's one toggle on your freaking phone. So it's not an excuse.
But it is. I mean, I agree with you. I'm going to read out some comments. It is. And actually that we do a lot of, you know, we love photography. That's what we were doing. So we're putting everything on the grid. Now, when we're doing photography, we are literally culturally changing, because now I'm like, get your phone, do behind the scenes, get the video out. Every single photo we do, we need to do a video. And so, but literally for us, it's taken 2 photo shoots to actually get into the rhythm of now taking video as well. So I just want to share that with everyone, because we are certainly not there yet with Reels, but we have dipped our toe in frigging finally in 2022. It feels like we're like, you know, taking like 40 billion years to do it. But I was freaked out, you know, because I kept on seeing everyone dancing. I kept on doing that. Also, I was just like, video, all this, and video for me, it does by very nature, proper video takes a lot longer than a photograph, right? So I think in our minds, we've got that there. And so we're going to talk about the rough and ready versus the slick, right? Because I think a lot of people are saying this. I've got to read out some comments because I'm getting like pages of them. Reclaim, and then we're going to move on to the 5 tips so that we can get this all in. Reclaim movement. Love their reel course and really push me forward. Inspiring ladies. Fiona J. Nitcho. I really want to learn how to do a reel. I'm starting from scratch, and Andie's reels are amazing. Social on Toast. This is going to be energetic live. You guys all have the energy. I mean, we actually do, don't we? Yeah. Watch out, world. Fenton Yard Flowers. I love doing reels using the flowers, but haven't dared in front of the camera. I'm worried people will find it a bit naff. Let's remember the word naff. Let's do this. A house full of furniture. Love reels. My business is growing because of them. Do it, do it, do it. Heart gallery. Visuals have definitely worked for us before, but it's trying to go one step further now without dancing. So another little thing for us to dancing, right? Sweet Pea Papier. I showed my face on reels today. I look like I've been held hostage. I'm going to read out 3 more and then I'll come back because I've got lots of questions, but I'm just going to read out comments here. Made Kind. It's so important to put yourself in front of the camera. You are your brand and everyone wants to meet you. So important to get over your fear. Becky Rose Carver, need this today. I really hold myself back from reels. I get such a good idea, but then get anxious about doing it. Definitely think about it way too much. Right. And let's get to our 5 points. So you've heard the sort of mood. We've heard about some of these fears, length of time, I'd love you to cover that for me, by the way. Rough and ready versus slick. Because I think when we think about video, we're like, it needs to be pitch perfect. You know, I'm going to look like an idiot because it's live. It's not just a static image. You're very much more vulnerable. So where would your tips start?
Okay, shall I go first, Andie?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So I think the first tip for everybody is make the first 1, if not 2 seconds of your reel really brilliant. If you know, when you're scrolling through reels at the beginning, I think we were all a bit patient. We weren't watching that many. We'd happily sit and watch a reel for 3 or 4 seconds to see if it was good. Yeah. Now, you know what? We're time poor. We're doing other things. We're not just on Instagram. People are ruthless, right? So your reel has to catch people in that first, I would say, 1 or 2 seconds. So there are lots of different tips that we use with our clients for doing that. So it's whether you have what we call a transition. So, you know, when you go from one clip to another clip and you're clicking fingers or your hands coming to the camera. So think about something that's going to keep people watching. Another really good tip is to use to keep people watching is something like a sort of slightly clickbaity kind of bit of text that says like 5 things I couldn't live without, and you say it to the camera, but you also have a bit of text, because remember, some people are watching with the sound off. So my first tip would be, really, I see so many lovely reels that don't really get to the great bit until 5-10 seconds in, and you've lost people. So the first 1 or 2 seconds needs to be really, really good. That's my first top tip.
Okay, second tip.
So I've downloaded an app called InShot, and it's one that I use to film. I actually edit, I'd say 80% of my reels in an app called InShot, and it's my top go-to app. It's free to download. You can pay to get the full, you know, unlimited account, but people can download it and give it a go. And for me, that has allowed, bearing in mind Instagram isn't an editing app. If you're wanting to do something that's a bit more technical, that requires editing in time to the music or adding lots of different texts at different times, Instagram is really difficult to do that in. And in fact, even when I'm doing them, and bearing in mind I'm an editor, like I spent 10 years editing videos, I'm in the app like pincing in and like trying to trim. I'm like, fuck this, and I'm like, get pissed off with it, and I know how to do it. That's why it's pissing me
you're
off.
a bloody editor. Think of us.
I'm an editor, and this doesn't work. It's not fit for purpose. It's not giving you, I think, for people that are trying it, they're like, I'm rubbish, and you're like, I'm rubbish, okay? And if I'm rubbish on Instagram, you haven't got a chance. So download InShot. The top tip, first thing, you know, it's quite technical, but you have to make sure the canvas is set to the TikTok frame, so it's the right size. Don't go posting anything with fuzzy bars either side or out of focus bits. But InShot is a really fantastic app that has taken my reels to the next level, so I would recommend that. That is,
I mean, just those 2 frigging tips, everybody. How lucky are we to get these? I'm going to read out a few more comments, and then I'm going to go to some questions for you before we get to tip number 3, if that's okay. RT Gubbins, my reels are doing so much better because I've been following Rebuildagram and I've been inspired by Dahlia Beach. There we go. Colour Wheel Garden, this is so helpful to know. I hadn't appreciated that they were pushed more than photographs on Instagram. And Mini Man and Moo, getting ready to launch. We'll be concentrating on reels. Thank you very much, ladies. Right, so I'm going to do quick fire questions. So if we keep it to a minute, if we can, and then we'll get to, maybe it's going to go into your top tips. But so maybe say you'll answer that in a moment if it does. Outdazzle, are Instagram reels for your current audience or for a new audience? What is the algorithm pushing? Kirsty, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I think people get a bit focused on reels, just targeting their new customers, potential new followers. But actually, you know, we forget our existing followers at our peril. These are our gang. These are our people, right? And there will be lots of people that will be following you for a really long time before they press the purchase button, whatever, whether you're a product, a service, whatever.
Whatever they say, 7 times you need to see something before you actually make that purchase. Okay, so that's a good thing for us to remember.
Totally. And I think what's really powerful about reels is they enable you to tell a story. And particularly for your existing followers, that's a really powerful thing. I think that the accounts that do the best on Instagram tell a story, whatever it is about your brand or your business. And so reels get you the chance to do that. So I would say they hit two people. And it may be that as you develop your use of reels, you work out reels that are going to hit your new people, that are targeted at your new people. And then you're also doing reels that work for your existing followers. So, you know, they work for both. So don't worry, you're not excluding your existing followers by making reels. They'll get pushed in your feed to your existing people and through the explore page to new people.
Okay, we've got Joe Gary 25. How do you produce reels for the product rather than a service-based business? That's what I'm really struggling with.
So all brands are a personality, aren't they? That's
Yes.
what you're selling. And so people, to be able to connect with a product, there's no easier way than adding a little bit of video with a little bit of music and a little bit of text. And that can be really simple things like stop motion, where things, you know, if you're packing a box, having, this is going into one of my top tips, this tripod.
Yes, I've
talk
seen
about stethoscopes, Holly. This is Holly's Pharmacy Live right here. Stethoscope. I couldn't be without this. I mean,
right. So
yes.
we're going to get to that on a top tip, aren't we? That one instrument that looks like you're about to ask me to open something up and it's going to be painful. But anyway, so we just, it's not going to hurt, is it?
No, this is not going to hurt. I promise.
So you're saying that for products, you can do things to actually bring a product to life. I'm thinking, Andie, like things like, you know, what is your product used for? You know, is it a votive? Could you put a candle in it? Could you light it? You know, it's giving that a lot of, I find videos helpful on products is giving me the reasons to use it. Where would it be situated? Where would I put it?
It's
How
exactly
could I use
the same
it?
as a photo shoot. But if you think you're selling a candle, okay, and the candle is in situ and it's up against, you know, a really beautiful backdrop, have it where it's not lit, and then have that audio that goes ding, 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 ping, and then light the candle.
Yeah.
And then you've created a reel, you know, but edit out the bit in the middle where you're lighting it and get it in time so that when it goes ping, the candle comes on. And what that will do, that will get shared. So just to give you an idea, Holly, and your audience, I printed off my insights and I shared them to my stories. For the last month, my posts that have used photos have had a reach of 35,000.
Yeah.
Guess how much my reels have had?
35 days. So 35, 75,000.
120,000
right
reach.
Yeah.
That's just because you can see it in your insights. It's got reels, and half of those were my followers, half of them were new people that had never heard of me.
So this is the power. That's such a good answer there. Eloise B. Jewelry. Let's keep these answers to a minute, ladies. I would love some top tips for reels without showing my face, please. Well, actually, that was quite a good example. Okay, so if you've got products, bring them to life. If you've got a service, bring them to life. Do you think, Kirsty, a yes or no, but with a little context, that if you show your face, it's going to get better reach than not?
Yeah, in fact, I've done a post this morning about it. If you're nervous about it, there's something about showing up, right? We just connect with us. So even if there's a really brilliant reel I've shared this morning about where he is a gardener giving 5 top tips for something, and in one of those tiny clips, he's talking to the camera. It's a tiny clip, but that really means that when his reels pop up, people recognize it as his. So you don't have to, but I definitely think it helps if you can.
Okay. Quirky Craft Glass. Can a reel be used on Facebook too, as most of my customers are on Facebook?
Yes, they've just rolled out literally last week.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so suddenly 2.9 billion users on Facebook are now up for grabs, and you don't even have to have a Facebook account. You can still post. There's a little button you click in your settings that says share to Facebook too, and add to Facebook.
Can I ask you, what was I going to ask you? There was something coming up here. Oh, bugger, it will come back to me. Sissy and Lou, I'm a photographer and shoot all of our product images. So the idea of film, the behind the scenes, is a really great one. So that's good. Oh, frig. Oh, yes. Should you share your reels to the grid?
Yes, always, 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 always.
Always?
Yes. It just
good tip.
Yes, always, because otherwise it just doesn't get pushed out. So you're never going to get to the explore page. It's just going to sit on your little grid happily there. And I think lots of people say to us, they get really worried about the aesthetic of their grid and that they don't want a horrible reel getting in there. So it's really easy to create a cover for your reel. You can either take an image from the reel itself, or you can create in Canva. I don't know if anybody's got Canva. It's a brilliant free desktop graphic design software, and you can create reels. They have reels cover templates in there. So yes, always to your grid.
Always to your grid. I didn't know that we will be doing that now. The Savvy Mummy, maybe this is a tip. Are you going to talk about timing of the day?
Yes, I have found that really totally changes the reach that I get on my reels. The ones that I post in the morning get around 6,000 to 8,000 plays, and that's around 7 o'clock in the morning. The ones at 6 o'clock in the evening, and I've tested it with no difference. It's using similar kind of trending audio, similar kind of text, similar kind of vibe. It gets double, at least double at 6 o'clock. I've got no idea why.
Okay. And do you think, Kirsty, is that same, like, you know, is it individual? So like Andie's saying that for hers, but
Yes.
then will my audience maybe be different?
Okay, so time of everybody's audience is different. You're right. I think there is something about when we get to the end of the work day, maybe we're consuming different types of content. We're consuming sort of more entertaining stuff. There's a really good tip. You can always go into your insights and see when your followers are online. But if you press the button to go live, it works on most accounts. You can see how many of your followers are online. You don't actually go live. So if anybody's confused about when their followers are online, it's really good to post your content when people are around. Just do that every hour through the day, and you will figure out your bespoke audience and when they're online, and think about posting when they're online. I think that's really important.
Brilliant tip. Caterpillar cross stitch. How far ahead do you plan?
Do you want to answer that, Kirsty? You answer it.
I think probably if Andie plans more than a day in advance, that's unusual.
Right. Okay.
I'm a spare at the moment kind of person.
Yes. And you know what? I'm going to say something here, because we talk about, like, I talk about it a lot on the grid, you know, that some people are like, I just post what I want when I want. And I'm like, do not do that, because, no, but I'm saying this for the grid thing, because it's like a magazine, you know. Your content needs to follow a melody, feel the mood. It needs to maybe, you know, we've got International Women's Day coming up. What are you doing for that? We've got Christmas coming up, or Christmas in July, or, you know, all Father's Day, Mother's Day, all these sorts of things. So I'm like, there absolutely has to be planning. But at the same time, I get what you're saying, Dahlia, here, Andie, for Dahlia Beach. It's like, you are the business. So you're doing something in the day and you're like, actually, this would make a great reel. You know, you can't plan that, though.
No. And I think the way that I've connected with people through reels is by taking them on the journey of starting a small business. And so for some people, they're following because they're interested in gardening. I'm not sure what percentage of people are equally following me because they're like, this woman's mad. She's like, God, all balls in on this business. And she's imported 30,000 tubers. She hasn't got a freaking clue what she's doing. Let's just follow her. It's going to be a car crash. So, you know, I think for me, I do find there's something happening in that day, and I'm like, oh, right, okay, I'll just film a little bit of this. But even that video of me running off the aeroplane, Holly.
Yeah, I love that.
So if you haven't seen it, I'll share it to my stories again. But that came to me as I was getting off the plane. Yeah. I was like, I'm just getting off the plane. I'm looking forward to like getting back into the swing of it. Can't wait to do a reel with Holly. Not a reel. That'll be later. I won't get you dancing, I promise. Can't wait to do a live with Holly. I was like, oh, I've got a teenager. Molly, film me running down the stairs. And then that took the filming of that literally took. Well, I did do it twice. But did you make
everyone stand on the frigging airplane when they're trying to get off the plane?
That's me.
You're that annoying woman going, sorry, I'm just filming a reel.
For Holly.
I'm sure they appreciated that. But I know what you're saying. It came to you that moment.
Yeah.
And I think so. Would a good recommendation potentially be to do both? You know,
Yes.
we plan everything on Trello. So for those of you who haven't got Trello, it's a brilliant visual to-do list. We plan everything, all of our content on Trello. We have different columns. So we have the grid, we have stories, and we are going to have reels as well. And so I think that's great when you've got things coming up. But then I do think that there is this magic if you're confident enough to get things that are happening in your life. So there's such an authentic sort of, I'm just going to film this and put it out there.
But Holly, your people are halfway there. Like, your people are creative. This for that, like, you are the embodiment of creativity and blue sky thinking and ideas and fireworks in your brain. Like, you're the advocate for that. So
yeah, well,
you know,
bless you. And I think this community it's not like, I know what you're saying. It's not like maybe, for instance, we have a lovely plumber who might be watching this. I mean, actually, I could make a good plumbing reel, I think. But, you know, it's you know what I mean? But actually, we've got creativity at our fingertips. Listen, we're going to come. There's lots of comments and questions coming in again. I'm just conscious. I want to get to our third point, our third tip.
Okay, so the third tip is about music. Can I do music, Andy? I'll do music quickly now. So I can see actually quite a lot of questions coming in about this. So hopefully this will help. So lots of people are like, oh my God, don't get access. I've got really rubbish music when I try and make a reel. So the first recommendation would be check your settings. So you can, when you run an account on Instagram, you can be a personal or a professional account. Hopefully everybody is already a professional account because that gives you access to insights about your account. When you're a professional account, you can be a business or a creator. You want to be a creator account, and that will give you access to all the all the licensed music within Instagram. The only reason to be a bit careful is if you are using scheduling tools to schedule your content out, that can come into problems. But switch over to creator to get the good music to start. That's the first thing. And secondly, on music, there is a thing called trending audios. Do you know about trending audios, Holly?
Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not that cool, but I've heard of it.
Okay, so trending audios, for anybody that doesn't know, there are audios, music, they can be voiceovers, things that largely have come from TikTok that are growing on Instagram. And when they start off, maybe, you know, 1,000 people have made a reel and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until the stage where everybody gets a bit sick of it. It's a bit like that Harry Styles song, Watermelon Sugar. You know, you love it until suddenly you hate it everywhere. So if you look on when you're scrolling through reels, and I'd say to people, spend 10 minutes a day with a notepad scrolling reels intentionally to look for reels that would work for you, and look for audio, and you'll see a little arrow next to the track that is trending, and then if you click on it, you can save it or use it, and it will show you how many reels have been made. And you know, if 5 million reels have been made without audio, we're at the Harry Styles stage where we don't want to hear it anymore. But if you're
okay, so 5 million would be big. But whereas like 20,000,
anything under 20,000 would be great. And if you can find even smaller ones, then even better, because it means you're jumping on that trend quickly.
Got you. Oh my God, that's freaking useful. Andy, next tip.
Oh, it's time for my stethoscope. Right, lie back, Holly. This is going to take long.
That is the bit I'm worried about, that little bit.
Well, you'll be pleased to hear this is what attaches to your desk. So look at this.
Thank Christ for that. Good.
There you go. Can I borrow your phone, please, Eve? And then what this does, now, when we're talking about product, flat lays are an amazing way of creating lovely imagery, but you can do just the same with video by doing it like that. And I've got my trusty, this is a remote.
Yes, I always throw those away. Okay.
Oh, what?
No.
Oh, Holly.
I will keep them. Okay. And then you click and you click videos.
It can video, it takes photos. So if you're doing a stop motion video, which is lots and lots of photos stitched together, and you're moving your product into a box, and which you'll then put to music, and it will give it personality. Da 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 da. You just keep taking the pictures with this
like
clicker.
That. What is that contraption called?
This one?
No, the white one.
It's called it's a desk mounted long arm tripod.
desk mounted long arm tripod.
It's got to be long. The ones that you see that have got the ring light with the little arm, they're not big enough for you to get the reach without getting the tripod in.
Got you. We've got that. We've got that.
Is that a good tip?
And listen, I want to do some more comments here before we get to the last tip. Sarah Gloves, if you're nervous about showing your face, imagine you're having a conversation with a friend. We don't have to think about how we look so much when we're having a little chat with someone. That's quite a nice tip. A Cocoon Natural Dye, I was told to post reels after 1 p.m. to reach the American market. Yeah. We've got Linda Sunday Best. Andie, I'm following you now. Watch your recent Beyonce Crazy in Love this morning. Made me smile and dance. Marine and Gold Creations. I can't even begin to say how useful this has been. Kylie Paper Cuts. I'm going to watch this because all of this is golden. Please save the live, Holly. We save every live. Remember, go to our IGTV library. It goes all the way back to my first one in SME SOS, which is 2 years ago. It will always be saved, everybody. Right, we've got some quick fire questions. Make It Friday UK. Should the reel have a branded colour page for when it is on the grid? Well, that's what you were saying, a cover image, right?
Yeah, and you know what, it's a really good point, because remember, when people come to your grid, sometimes they'll scroll back through your content. And so if you've got something that's got a little bit of text on the front that says what's in that reel, people are going to click on it. So yes, I think cover is a really good idea.
Libby Lavender Cotswolds, what about hashtags? Are there any useful ones for reels?
They're pretty
not
used. There are things like Reels video, but they've got like 5 million posts on them. I wouldn't bother. I would stick with the Reels. What are the hashtags that you're using for your account to hit your target customer? That's what you want most.
Camellia Living, do you always film with your phone for the best quality video? Sometimes a video can look great before posting, then when it's uploaded, the quality doesn't look as good. Is there a way to avoid it?
So there's a setting in your settings that makes sure that your video is always uploaded in HD. I think you always have to be connected to the Wi-Fi because it obviously takes up quite a lot of bandwidth. But make sure in settings that you're on HD uploads. Otherwise it can look grainy, yes.
I agree with that. Actually, I only discovered that the other day. So that's really good. Right, and we're going to the final tip.
Okay, final tip. Should we do transitions or should we do the... Okay, so transitions. So transitions, if anybody doesn't know, are the little bit between clips of video of how they change from one to the other. So what you can do is create a reel with just 6 different clips, and it just goes from one to the other. But if you use some creativity, then you can create excitement. So whether the video spins or jumps or does something, and there are loads of transitions. If you're nervous about doing anything a bit more complicated in InShot, you can go in, click little button, and there are loads of transitions. And you can take what normal video, 5 normal clips that aren't that exciting, put little transitions between them, and suddenly you've got a reel. So transitions you can do in InShot. The second way to do transitions, and if anybody's followed Andie's reels, will see she's really brilliant at this. So it's things like clicking your fingers and suddenly you change your background. So suddenly you go from one place to another, or it's using a device to do a change. So you put your hand to the camera and come back and you're in a different outfit. Yeah. So those are, I think people think they're really hard to do. They're not. And on our Reels course, we're going to be teaching people all how to do those. And Andie's got some examples on her grid, actually, of how to do some simple ones. So
I made a double-decker bus disappear.
See, if you can do that, you can do anything. And can I just ask you this, from my personal, and I'm going to, there is a thing, isn't there, about this sort of thing and this sort of thing, where, and maybe I need to just lighten up a bit, and potentially that really is the case. So what if you're not confident to, do you know what I mean? Like, do reels always need to be, and when I say entertaining, I'm not trying to say like, you would do some doom and gloom reel. I'm just trying to say that what if you just want to talk about something? Would your advice still stand? As in, you put the cover on, have some copy that's intriguing to the beginning, put music that's trending, Do you know what I mean? Like do
Yeah.
things, or do
Yes.
you think you have to be? Because Andie, you've got the most
No.
unbelievable personality, but potentially there's a lot of people out there who this is not comfortable for them. So what would your advice be here?
So in terms of just putting a single clip up there, but also showing up and showing your face so you don't have to talk. There was one that I did about, I was waiting for some boxes to arrive and I'd left it too late to order it, totally my fault. And everybody had been following me on this journey. And then whilst I was away on holiday, I got an email to say, Andie, we're going to get those boxes to you in time for Mother's Day. It's fine. And so I was like, do I need to like go like, wah! Like do a reel where I'm running around the beach or going crazy? And you know what? I was like, in this moment, I was literally taking video of my brother surfing, and I was like, oh, actually, I'm just going to film me smiling and feeling the sun on my face.
Yeah,
and just
I saw that.
soak in that moment where I'm like, everything is going to be okay. And I put that, my box is going to be delivered, everything is going to be okay. And I put, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man, which is a trending audio. And that's had 30,000 plays, Holly.
Right.
And that I didn't have to say anything. You know, I think you're nervous of my reels because you're like, Andie's going to make me do something really silly. But even with the hand over the lens, I'm teaching my people that have joined the my Dahlia Beach Facebook group that if you've got a video of your garden, drop the camera face down on the grass so that the grass.
Make sure you have a cover so that you don't crack it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's on grass, Holly.
Oh, okay, on grass.
Spot the non-gardener. Worried about
because I can just see people potentially doing it on the pavement, not on the pavement
in your garden. Anyway, so they're going to film a little bit around their garden while it's all horrible and mucky and brown and dirty.
Yeah.
And then they drop the phone face down on the grass. And in the summer, when it's all full of beautiful dahlias, film and pick the camera up, and there's your reel. You haven't had to dance. Do anything stupid. You don't have to be in front of the camera. You can have a product. You can hold some flowers like this and be like, here we go. This is how you arrange flowers, and then chuck them. And then the next shot is they're beautifully arranged behind you, and you don't have to be in it.
Oh my gosh, that's it. And chuck them. I can just see this, phones breaking, water spraying everywhere, and that's how you do a reel, everyone. Was that useful? Tell us, I've got some more comments before you tell us about your brilliant course. Claire Jowers, this is epic. Marketing is such a difficult space, a different space to when I was in it just only 2 years ago. Correct. Everything's frigging moving forward. And you know what's so useful about this one live here is we're just talking about if you are up to your eyeballs, this is efficient. Doing reels is efficient for your business rather than actually a nice to have. This is not a nice to have anymore, everyone. It's not a nice to have. This is an imperative. So we got to find our comfort zones. And just before also, it would say, so we just talked about those who do not want to go in front of the camera. Then there are going to be people sitting on the fence who are like, I think I might be okay going in front of the camera. I would say push yourself then, right? Because for those who actually are not going to have anxiety for 3 days before, for those who are like, actually, I think I can do it, would you just say, jump in, try it out? What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly. I think that's a really, really important point, Holly, is I think we worry so much about what other people think. And especially when you press that button to post a reel, it can feel really scary. But, you know, everything that I've done since I joined Instagram, where I've pushed myself, and I've gone, what on earth am I doing this for? It's so scary, has had such a good benefit and such a result. And you have to push yourself and go for it. And, you know, a good tip on, if you're feeling nervous about going on camera, try some talking stories first, you know, just get used to seeing yourself on camera. That's a really good entry level to start getting used to seeing yourself.
Got you. I think that's a great tip. Okay, so we've also got Kaban Harapan. I definitely will rewatch this program. All is valuable. Thank you so much, ladies. Taylor and Pause. I have so much fun with reels. Always thinking, how can I translate them back to my business? I like to use them as a space to let my silly side out and show my face. So, you know, you've got these different stages, different types of people, haven't we? And so we've got actually some people who creatively, like yourself, Andie, enjoy video so much, and then we need to go for it if we're those people. Artie Gubbins, another tip: make sure to clean the camera on your phone. Nobody wants to see a blurry reel. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at that. Georgie's creative side, I'm definitely going to InShot ASAP. Thank you so much for this advice. It's going to be so helpful. Yay. Candy Queen Designs, hello my lovely lady. Can't wait for the course. I'm already signed up. Yay. And Ellie Gray 2019, I'm booked on the course. Can't wait. So what is the course that they're talking about?
Go, Kirsty.
Okay, so so Andie and I did a couple of in-person workshops back. We did one last year and then 2 at the beginning of last month, and they were so brilliant. And we had loads of people came and we worked with them and we taught them over the course of a day how to make reels. But so many people said to us, we can't get to Oxford, we can't do it, help, 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 how do we make reels? And so we have taken that course and expanded it and turned it into a 3-week online course that starts on Monday. And people can sign up. There's a link in my bio or Andie's, and we'll share it on our stories. And it's £295 for 3 weeks, and you get a huge amount of content every week dropped in, videos, tutorials, lessons, and a lot of this stuff is quite technical, isn't it? So actually having that you can go back to is really helpful. We talk about examples of reels to try. We break down how to do transitions. We talk about the strategy behind reels, and I think that's really important. We talk about how getting 10,000 views is worth nothing if it's not the right people. So it's you know, converting people from viewing your reel but then getting to come to your account and pressing buy. So it starts on Monday the 7th of March, and we're so excited.
And not just that though, there's a community group as well that we're running simultaneously on Facebook, where we're going to be setting daily reels challenges, doing live Q&A sessions. And when you're trying to teach somebody how to edit, it definitely needs to be a visual learning experience. And so that we've got the whole platform with a curriculum, and it's all really simple step-by-step guides, coming right from the beginner level right through to, you know, extracting audio and adding multi-level videos, audios and text. But it is a technical thing, so when people are getting frustrated, it's because you just haven't learned how to do it yet.
Yes, that is just so important. And I think, you know, when we know, and this is just brilliant for everybody here, join the course, because ultimately, you know, here we have 2 wonderful human beings who are going to take you through everything that they know, and when we and we're going to have some rather not scary devices being put anywhere, but all of you, you know, we need to remember video is here to stay. It's going to be completely our future. It's not going away, so we need to understand our barometers, what we're comfortable with, but ultimately you technically need to know how to do this and not waste your energy. We have no energy to waste at all, do we? Lovely ladies, thank you so much. I think we did all 5 tips, didn't we?
Yes,
we did all 5 tips. Everyone's got to join the course. I cannot wait. We might join the course as well, if that would be okay.
Lovely.
And it's just been awesome, and thank you for being so open and honest with everybody. It's one of the things I love about this community. It's just such a warm and loving environment for us all to learn through, and we've got each other's backs, and it's just a great thing. So thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having us, Holly.
Take care. Lots of love. Bye. I'm going to do a transition. Look at that.
You're still there.
Oh, hang on.
Let's skip to the good bit.
Right, now you've got to go. You've got to go.
Okay, going. Go.
Go. Bye. Go. Bye. Look at that. Oh.
Oh, God. Hang on. Haven't quite done it. Hang on, I'm trying to go.
There we go. Bye. Transition done. Bye. What wonderful people. Please do join that course. That sounds like an absolutely fantastic use. Remember, that you can get lots of free advice, okay? Thanks to Dell today. That was brought to you because I'm able to be here thanks to Dell Technologies, who believe in you learning and growing. And we have the advice hub that's on holly.co, free of charge. You have also Holly's emails, which is called Holly's Desk Notes. I exclusively write to it. Head over to holly.co to sign up to our email. We have things like articles such as Instagram followers, how to get more Instagram followers, how to use video. And basically, I wanted to create a place like a small business newspaper that gave soulful, practical, vulnerable advice to all of you, so you do not have to go through the pain that some of us have been through, or I have been through. So some are quite more factual, some are more soulful. So head over to the Advice Hub, and that is also brought to you thanks to Dell Technologies, my partner, not in crime. We're not up to anything bad. We're up to all things good. Cannot wait for you to join me on the real journey. I am going to definitely push myself out my comfort zone. Head over to see my own reels. A lot of them. There's only about 7 of them, but have a look, see what you think. And I wish you all the luck and confidence for going after your dreams as ever.